Last week, I spoke of a bad habit that I had developed simply because I was too tall for the first motorcycle that I ever owned. I also spoke about how the bad habit had become a part of my nature. However, I have been working on breaking that habit, and I'm slowly winning the battle. I mention this because it's actually pertinent to the devotion for this week. Now take a moment to think about all of the good habits you have developed as a motorcyclist. I will be honest, it took me a little bit to come up with them myself, but once I started on the list, they really started to come pretty freely. Here are a few that I came up with. And if you've ever taken a motorcycle safety class, then these are things that you have heard, but you may find that you don't practice them. First, wearing the right gear. It's advisable that you wear clothing that covers your arms and legs, preferably made of a durable material that will protect you in the event of an accident. Of course, this will also include gloves and a helmet. Now, I always wear jeans, gloves, and a helmet. There are even times where the weather dictates that I wear leather chaps and a leather jacket. Also, I keep rain gear in my saddlebag just in case I hit one of those unexpected rain showers. A second habit is to always keep your eyes up and focused on where you want to go, especially when going through curves and turns. I took a safety class, and that was the one thing that I was scolded for more than anything. I can still hear my instructor, who's also a friend of mine, yelling at me to look through the turn. Even now, I can sometimes hear him fussing at me, even though I've broken myself of that habit. Habit number 3 is to just be aware of your surroundings. Use your mirrors often. Don't lose track of the vehicles that are around you. We've all heard that we must watch out for the cars on the road because they are not watching out for us. This is very true, and it should be taken to heart. Another habit to develop is learning to let things go. Road rage on a motorcycle is a losing endeavor, and it's a tough habit to develop, but it will keep you safe, and it will make riding that much more enjoyable. Now, while this list is far from exhaustive, there are so many others that could be addressed. These are just a few important habits that we should develop to keep us safe and to make our rides more enjoyable. There are habits we develop in so many aspects of our lives that help us to succeed and prevent mistakes from happening. This is also true and so very important for our spiritual lives. Focusing on and developing sound spiritual habits will serve us well in every single aspect of our lives. They will overflow into everything that we do, and they will add to our spiritual growth, strengthening our walk with the Lord. It doesn't matter if you are not yet saved, if you're a new believer, or if you've been saved for years. These habits are vital to our growth as people and in our devotion to Christ. A few years ago, I read a great book, The Spiritual Disciplines for the Christian Life by Dr. Donald Whitney. This was an eye-opening book for me, and one I now read at least once a year. These spiritual disciplines should become a natural part of who we are as we pursue continued spiritual growth in our lives. I will go ahead and say that most research indicates that it takes 66 days for a behavior to become automatic, and it can take just as few as 18 days to break a habit. So pursuing spiritual habits requires work and dedication. Maintaining those habits takes vigilance. One of the first habits we should consider is the foundation for any other spiritual habit we develop. We should read our Bible daily. The easiest way to ensure development of this habit is to find a good Bible reading plan and keep it in your Bible. Set aside a time each day to read the passages for that day and then check them off. It gives you a visual sense of accomplishment. With the new year approaching, this is when most people begin a new Bible reading plan. And I'm going to share a few links in the description of this video to a few reading plans that I have used myself. But the point is really simple. Read your Bible. In his letter to the Colossians, Paul writes, "Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your hearts to God." Dwell does not mean for us to simply gloss over the words we read. We must meditate on them and allow them to guide us. This is why we read our Bibles. There are so many other habits we should develop as we grow, and you will find that they all stem from the knowledge we gain and the relationship that we develop with God as we read our Bibles. We should be engaged in prayer daily. not just when we sit down to eat a meal. We should participate in fellowship with other believers. This does include going to church. It is not exclusive to going to church. As these habits begin to flourish, we find ourselves tackling more challenging habits, such as sharing the gospel with others and serving others. Now again, this list is far from exhaustive, but these are some great habits to develop. Just keep in mind that it takes effort to develop these habits, and it will help you if you surround yourselves with others who will encourage you and hold you accountable. These habits will also be observed by others, and your example can change a life and perhaps lead someone else to follow Jesus Christ. If you have questions, if you need guidance, or if you just need prayer, please reach out to me or seek someone else in your life who will give you biblical guidance. I just want to also take a moment to thank each of you for seeing me through to this, my 30th devotional. I am deeply grateful to each of you.